A shocking and highly controversial statement has emerged from Donald Trump as he suggested that he and an Ayatollah in Iran could rule together, a remark that has sparked global debate and confusion. This statement appears to be linked to ongoing tensions surrounding the Strait of Hormuz, a critical maritime route responsible for transporting nearly 20% of the world's oil supply. According to recent reports, Trump indicated that the United States could jointly manage or influence the Strait of Hormuz alongside Iran's leadership, saying it could be me and the Ayatollah, whoever that may be. The Sun. This comes at a time when the region is already under extreme pressure following weeks of military escalation. The United States had reportedly planned strikes on Iranian energy infrastructure, but those strikes have now been postponed for 5 days, signaling a possible shift toward diplomacy. Trump described the situation as involving productive discussions and claimed there are major points of agreement, particularly regarding Iran's nuclear program. However, there is a major contradiction. Iran has completely denied that any negotiations are taking place. Iranian officials have labeled such claims as political messaging or psychological pressure rather than real diplomacy. This creates a confusing global picture. The U.S. claims progress. Iran denies talks entirely. At the same time, Trump has made several strong statements about Iran's leadership in recent weeks. He has even suggested that the next Iranian leader may need U.S. approval to remain in power, indicating a much deeper level of intended influence. These remarks are highly unusual in international politics and raise serious questions about sovereignty and control. Experts believe Trump's comments may be part of a broader strategy, either to pressure Iran into negotiations or to signal strength to global audiences. But critics argue that such statements could also escalate tensions, especially if perceived as interference in Iran's internal affairs. So what does this really mean? Is this a genuine attempt at peace? Or a bold geopolitical strategy with higher risks? In the next part, we break down the possible outcomes and what this could mean for global stability and oil markets. The implications of Trump's statement go far beyond politics. They directly impact global energy, security, and the future of diplomacy. If a deal between the United States and Iran actually materializes, it could lead to the reopening and stabilization of the Strait of Hormuz. This would be a major development for the global economy. When tensions rise in this region, oil prices often spike due to fears of supply disruption. In fact, recent instability has already caused fluctuations in global markets, with investors reacting quickly to any news of conflict or peace. A successful agreement could bring stable oil supply, lower fuel prices globally, reduced military tensions, renewed diplomatic engagement. But the risks remain extremely high. If negotiations fail, or if they were never happening in the first place, the situation could escalate rapidly. Iran has already demonstrated its ability to disrupt maritime routes and has warned of retaliation if attacked further. Any conflict in the Strait of Hormuz would not remain local. It could trigger global oil shortages, increased inflation worldwide, military escalation involving multiple countries, economic instability across major markets. Another critical factor is leadership uncertainty in Iran. Following recent conflict developments, questions remain about who exactly holds power and how decisions are being made. This uncertainty makes any proposed joint control idea even more complex and difficult to implement. Meanwhile, global powers, including European countries and regional actors, are quietly pushing for de-escalation, fearing that a prolonged crisis could spiral into a larger conflict. At this stage, Trump's statement about ruling together with an Ayatollah appears more like a strategic signal rather than a confirmed plan. It reflects a mix of diplomatic messaging, political pressure, strategic positioning. The next few days will be crucial. With the 5-day delay in military action, the world is watching closely to see whether diplomacy will take hold, or whether tensions will rise even further. One thing is certain: the future of the Middle East and global oil stability may depend on what happens next.